Hey guys, it's Connor and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a 30 movie challenge and so I kind of did this just for fun, but also some people wanted to know my movie tastes and my interests, so here they are. So number one, favorite movie. I like to go with the Big Lebowski because one, it's directed by the Coen brothers who are extremely funny and great filmmakers. Two, it's a great story and super creative, super interesting. And three, I just really enjoy this movie. It's hard for me to pick any of these categories for my number one, but I'm gonna give it to the Big Lebowski because it's definitely the most fun movie that I like and most funny as well. Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Steve Buscemi, great cast, great movie. I would recommend to anyone. Alright, so number two, the last movie I watched was Mulholland Drive. It's by David Lynch, who, if you don't know, did Eraserhead and Twin Peaks. He's a super weird but creative director, and I seem to really like Mulholland Drive. The end was actually what totally got me to really like the movie because I haven't been creeped out by a movie in a really long time, and the end of Mulholland Drive definitely creeped me out to the point where I kind of had dreams about it and it was scary, and I would recommend it to people that are looking for a weird movie. It's definitely, you have to think about it for a while, but it's definitely enjoyable and a good watch. Number three is my favorite action adventure film, so I'm gonna have to go with The Dark Knight for this one. It's directed by Christopher Nolan, who, as you probably know, did Memento, Inception, Interstellar, all the Batman films, The Prestige. He did so many amazing films. He's a great director. And of course, The Dark Knight has a great cast, including Heath Ledger, which I think this is his best role. It definitely portrays what type of actor he was. He put everything into his role, and it's definitely an amazing movie. It's a little hard to watch sometimes, that's just because it's so dark and everything, but it brings a new look on Batman, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone looking for an action-adventure film with a little bit of a dark taste in it. Number four is my favorite horror movie. I'm gonna have to go with The Shining for this one. It's directed by Stanley Kubrick, one of my favorite directors. It's a psychological horror thriller movie that always makes me think. It's you can tell it had so much time and effort put into it, and it just shows in the masterpiece of film that it is. It has amazing cinematography, amazing story, and Jack Nicholson delivers an amazing portrayal. Number five is my favorite drama film, which I'm gonna have to go with American Beauty. American Beauty is a super relatable, great piece of work. So this is the movie that really got me to love Kevin Spacey. You probably know him from House of Cards, but also some other great movies that I would recommend with him in it. Seven, Usual Suspects. There's a bunch of movies, but I'm just gonna name those two for now. But Kevin Spacey is definitely one of my favorite actors, and this is probably his best role. So number six is my favorite comedy. I'm gonna have to go with Hot Fuzz for this one. It's directed by Edgar Wright, which is one of my favorite directors. He's so funny, so creative. He did films like Shaun of the Dead, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, At World's End. He's extremely funny, extremely good, and I would watch almost anything that he puts out. Number seven is a movie that makes me happy. I'm gonna have to go with Moonrise Kingdom for this. It's directed by Wes Anderson, so I know a lot of people don't like that sort of style that he does, but I think in this movie it really works. The characters in it, the story, they all bring me back to like a childhood sort of feel, and I think Wes Anderson portrays this really well, and the movie overall is just really lovable, really adventurous, and brings you back to a childhood sort of spirit. It makes me think of all the times that I was a kid and did adventures and stuff like that. So I would recommend this to anyone that would like to watch a Wes Anderson film, or just anybody that is looking for a fun, loving movie. So number eight is a movie that makes me sad. I'd have to go with The Green Mile for this. This was my first R-rated film. It's directed by Frank Darabont, who did The Shawshank Redemption and The Walking Dead. He's an amazing filmmaker, and I think The Green Mile really shows his filmmaking potential. Has Tom Hanks in it, who obviously, if you know Tom Hanks at all, you would want to go see this movie. It's super depressing, but super emotional, and the characters and the cast are perfect. for this type of movie, and I think that it's really a great movie to see. So number 9 is a movie that I know practically the whole script of. I'm gonna have to go with Airplane for this one. It's one of my favorite comedies from when I was a kid, and it continues to be one of my favorite comedies today. I think that's where I got most of my sense of humor from. The jokes, the story of the movie, it's all just so funny and great, and I just memorize all the movie quotes from it because it's just so funny. I even have like run-on jokes with my family about it because it's just such a good, well-written movie that makes you laugh every time. So number 10 is my favorite director. This was extremely hard for me to pick, but I'm gonna go with Stanley Kubrick for this one. Obviously, you know I like The Shining, but I also enjoy his films such as Clockwork Orange and A 2001 Space Odyssey and Dr. Strangelove. Kubrick is an amazing director, and you know that he puts in a ton of time and effort and energy in all his films, and Kubrick is an amazing filmmaker and probably one of the best. For me, I say that he does a story extremely well, he's extremely creative, and he has a certain sort of atmosphere about him that no other director can portray. Number 11 is my favorite movie from childhood. I'm gonna have to go with WALL-E for this one. I really loved the character of WALL-E. I understood what the whole movie was about, like with environmental issues and pollution on the earth and everything like that, and I don't know, as a kid I just really connected with the movie, and I think it's an amazing movie, especially from Pixar and everything, and I would recommend it to anybody, yeah, just basically anybody, adults, children, teenagers, anybody. It has something for everyone, and WALL-E continues to be an amazing movie today. My favorite animated movie would be Persepolis. You might have not heard of this before, but it's basically based off a book. The story, the message, the characters, everything in this movie had so much detail, so much emotion. Everything was so well done, and the animation style is like nothing I've ever seen before. Persepolis will leave you with an amazing message and also great animation. I would just, even if you're just not even caring about the story or anything, just looking at it is beautiful. So number 13 is a movie that I used to love but now hate, and that would have to be Shrek for me. So basically as a kid I used to watch this all the time at my grandparents' house, and I really loved the characters and everything in it, but now it's been completely trashed because of all the memes and everything, but there's still a place in my heart for it. I just, you know, probably can't watch it now without my whole mind just going to the memes and everything. But I really did love the movie, and I think it's still a great movie, especially if you take away all the memes and everything. So number 14 is my favorite quote from any movie. I couldn't really pick one that easily, but I just recently watched Seven, so I'm gonna put a quote from there in it. Basically the quote is from Morgan Freeman when he says, "Hemingway once wrote, 'The world's a fine place and worth fighting for.'" I agree with the second part. I just also wanted to talk about this movie anyway, even though the quote I really enjoy and I thought it was a really good end to the movie. David Fincher is the director of Seven, who I absolutely love. He did Fight Club, Zodiac, The Social Network. He has a great style and great type of filmmaking that I really love. He has certain sort of shots that you can call a Fincher shot, and those type of directors are really special, and I would recommend almost any of his films. I really relate to them, and I think they all have really good messages. If I could do films like Fincher or even work with Fincher, that would be the dream come true, because I love his style and I love his cast and I love his characters, and yeah, I just love Fincher. So number 15 is the first movie I ever saw in theaters. That would be the Tigger movie. It's I don't even really remember the movie that well. I just remember I really loved Winnie the Pooh, especially the character Eeyore, and the movie I don't even remember that well, but I remember, you know, it's a perfect movie for a kid or whatever. Yeah, that just shows you can start with movies like that, and you can end with movies like Seven, where people are dying and heads are being cut off, and you know, all that. Hey guys, it's Connor, and I was just editing this video and realized that it would be way too long to put all 30 of the parts in, so I'm going to put just the first 15 in this and make a part 2 that I'm going to release sometime in the future, very soon, with the rest of the 15. So yeah, I'll let you know about that. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.